Players for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders are usually between 16 and 20 years old, so this is hopefully just a first stop on what will be quite a hockey journey for many of them. And this year, that includes the chance at a gold medal in Beijing. I definitely feel very blessed to be in the Sunshine State today, where the sun just set after what was about an 80-degree day. It was very nice. Definitely a different scene that I'm sorry what you guys had to go through in eastern Iowa. Two other places that are pretty far away from each other is Clemson, South Carolina, and Ames, Iowa.
Travis, you got to talk to some of these guys after this one.
Yeah, it was really hard for a lot of these guys. Some of them were holding back tears after the game, but they said what they wanted to focus on is everything that they've done for Iowa State football, and they say they've really left the program in a much better spot than when they started. City High definitely was frustrated after the loss last week, but, you know, like these banners behind me, they want to show what they're about, and they want to be this really strong team that everyone thinks they are, so they were fired up tonight trying to get their mojo back before the start of the playoffs. Skateboarding is an official Olympic sport, debuting in Tokyo this summer. A lot of athletes say this is a dream come true for them, and they hope it inspires people all across the globe to jump on a board.
The sides who are competitive, that grew up in a really competitive family, that want to compete for Team USA. It's been a goal. It's been hung on their wall. They've written down on paper when they were 7 years old and put it on their wall. Those type of athletes are finally get to do something they've always dreamed of.
Hundreds of skaters with Olympic aspirations are taking over downtown Des Moines this week. For nearly all of them, it's the first event with fans in over a year.
It's just something about the crowd that is just like empowering, you know?
The pandemic is also a big reason why the Dew Tour chose Iowa. With looser restrictions than places like California and a new park, tourism group Catch Des Moines extended the invitation.
Our team quickly made the trip out here. The park was covered in snow, but luckily, you know, we trust the renderings.
Now that they're all here, the idea of representing their home country is within reach.
Being on the Olympic stage and like putting the flag around you or stepping up on podium would be amazing. I mean, I've always thought about it.
But they say growing the sport is just as important.
It is very different, you know what I mean? And you know, when they get introduced in through the competitive side, I feel like it gets all turned back to, you know, they do more research, they find out what the other side of skateboarding is.
As a low-cost, accessible sport, they think the spotlight is all they need.
You can skateboard in your kitchen, you can go to a skate park, you can cruise down the street, you can do it anywhere. And I feel like that's why skateboarding is just going to be put on such a pedestal going into this.
You know, I'm not much of a trash talker, I'm more of a reminder.
It does hurt, you know, to know how the Hawkeyes have dominated the series, and the past 5 years have been pretty challenging.
Iowa State fans need this one bad. With their last win coming in 2014, their blood is boiling leading up to the game.
It can be very difficult this week, especially to not unfriend people on Facebook that are on the opposing side, and also to be cordial to some of your neighbors who have the opposing team's flag up. So it can be a challenge.
Evan Brame is an agronomist who graduated from ISU in 2012. Cardinal and gold runs in his family.
My dad went there, my uncle went there, many relatives went there.
Sean Keller studied creative writing at Iowa, but now owns Mosley's Barbecue in North Liberty and Iowa City. Both men respect each other's schools, and we'll leave it at that.
Ames, I think of more of the hard sciences, for sure, ag, etc., but we definitely have a lot more fun in Iowa City.
No matter who you root for, you can't question the passion. And now it's all up to the guys on the field.
There's no doubt in my mind the Cyclones are going to win.
Let's keep the Hawkeye State the Hawkeye State.
He was already just sick with a fever, and I had been checking on him and taking his temperature, you know, every 4 hours.
Kula Kramer had a mother's worst nightmare on August 19th, not sure what was wrong with her son.
We went and checked on him at 1, and I just knew that I could tell he wasn't with us really.
Charlie was suffering from multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, which has been an after effect for some kids with COVID-19. It took him some time to regain consciousness, but only 2 days later, he was walking.
He realizes that it's going to take some work, and they're going to give him the right tools to just be able to move forward and get back to himself.
CK on me, CK on 3. 1, 2, 3, CK.
Charlie played football in middle school, and he would have been on the freshman team this year. Players and coaches have been keeping him on the field in spirit.
Just be there for him, you know, talk about it. Don't be shy about, you know, opening those feelings.
Kula and her husband Steve met with many people on Monday they hadn't seen since Charlie's stroke. While Charlie has a long road ahead, they know the community is with them every step of the way.
He's driven. He's a driven kid.
He's a strong kid, determined to get better.
He's got his family behind him, so.
Yep.
And lots of friends in the community and his school, and just, it's amazing, really, the support.